Hello everyone. In this video, let us try to understand FIN5823-W7A, where we will be addressing all the case related questions. So this is a retirement case study, and we are performing certain financial calculations in the last week. Like FIN5823-W6A. What we did is we have created a financial model. You just cross check that financial model. Okay, before you start working on this case study, make sure that you are ready with your financial model that you have created in the last week. If somebody not created it, um, please ask for the model that created by others on your name. Okay, so you can ask us for a financial model. Now, based on the values that you have kept in the financial model, you are supposed to create certain answers to these one, two, three, four, five questions. Okay. So, well, let me explain you the last question first. So, this has to be written at the ending, but this speaks about what kind of risks that we might come across regarding retirement planning. Maybe we might have planned something and it might go wrong because of certain risks. What could be those risks? So, from the case study, we understand that Bob invested in different types of funds, equities, and other things. So, what kind of impact he might be having because of market risks, the returns that he could make from the investments may go wrong, okay, may reduce. Okay, so it was estimated in our financial model that maybe like 5 to 10% returns he will be making on the investments he invested on stocks, equities, and funds. So if market conditions are inappropriate, the percentage of return he might get will reduce. This will be impacting his retirement amount at the end of 65 years. So that has to be evaluated. So we speak about market risks. Next, health risks. So in the calculation, we haven't included health risk related factor. So when the person undergo health risks, it includes in a different type of costs, so which will be badly impacting the savings he can make every year, and it also influences the total retirement amount he can make at the end of 65 years. Another one is loss of job. So there is a risk like at present based on his salary, the total calculation is dependent. So if he loses the job, what happens? There will be no income, then he cannot set aside certain amount of money. He might be using the amount that already saved for retirement fund also. So in such situation, the retirement planning and the retirement fund will badly get influenced. Next one is inflation. Inflation will have certain impact on costs associated with the day-to-day life the person will undergo. So inflation has to be reviewed. So these are the five major things that I identified. It is not required that you have to write the exactly same thing, but mostly based on the case study, these topics will be covered. So what I suggest is if you want to write it on your own, cross-check what risks will be influencing your retirement fund so that you can cross-check online and you will get different situations, different factors that influence the retirement fund. So you can write about them. Okay, so make sure you speak about these three or five things. Definitely, it's possible. Like you can write. So write one page, one and a half page on risks that he could impact. And these questions are straight questions. So it requires a half page to finish it. So first one is what is the accumulated amount if he like allowed with the proper assumptions that we made in the last week. So according to my document, so if I cross check, this is the amount. This amount is the total saving. Okay. So what is the amount? Like where 66 years, when we added all these three values, whatever the amount that we get, that is the total saving he can get because of the fund. Okay, because of the retirement fund. This is sorry. This is first solutions answer. Second one is it was asked about how much should be setting aside each year. So according to our model, we can cross check that every year employee is giving certain amount, he is setting aside certain amount, and he also gains interest on assets. All these three values are set aside. So what I did is I have added up all the three values for each year and calculated an average value. If we can say like that key, the person has to set money between 29,450 to 1,06,205. Between these two values, he has to set aside. So rather than mentioning that, it is better that, because setting aside all depends. So what I say is like on an average, the person has to set 58,000 approximately, 58,577. So this is not straight value based on your numbers. You will get a different value. So whatever the average we get for those values, that will be the value that we set aside every year. Okay. So that's how we calculate it. Next one is how much will he have to live on when he retires? So this question speaks about, so to live every year after each month, what is the amount he will be having? So based on the question, from the retirement model, every month he is having, like so for example, in the 66th year, he is using 71,250 for the living purposes. Okay, so there is like this lot of amount he's having, but that amount has to be consumed every year appropriately. So otherwise, what happens? He might experience fund deficiency. If he don't have enough fund, he cannot carry on his life comfortably. So it starts from 71,200, and by the year 92 years, according to my data, at 92nd year, he is having 92,287 to spend. Okay, so for up to 92 years, he can live comfortably, and the money he will be spending will distributed from 71,000 to 92,000. So on an average, if we take, it will be 81,332. Okay, so like this, I addressed it. So make sure you mention average value. Otherwise, the way I addressed it, maybe it will be between 71,000. You have to write all these question answers to these questions in your Word document. Don't write in the Excel sheet, but some just for your understanding, I calculated like this. Okay, so it will be 81,332 on an average. Next, how long he will be alive, live comfortably. So here, till the value becomes negative, you have to cross check when the value became negative. So what is the year it is? It is 93 years. So a year before that will be the maximum year he is living comfortably. So according to this data, in the 93rd year it is become negative. So up to 92 years he can live without any financial deficiencies. So according to the requirement, he has to live for 15 years. So, but here more than 15 years he is living comfortably. You have to interpret each value every time you write. So, what is the total age he lived happily? That can be calculated by using a difference checker. So 92 minus 65, that is 27 years he can live happily. So these are the four questions that we can address. Okay, so please address all these four questions and write a proper interpretation. So your own interpretation. Maybe for this one, you say that after considering all the savings he is making because of the investments he is making from the contribution of the employees and his own savings setting aside, from that we can say that after certain period of time, after 15, after getting retirement age of 66, 65 years, he will be saving this amount. That will be the interpretation. So for this one, we can say that maybe like every year, the person will be setting aside certain amount of money. Like the setting aside money includes employer contribution, the person's contribution, and interest he is receiving on assets. Okay, all these things will included in the savings amount, and it was identified that every year the savings amount is increasing because of time value money. Okay, so we might have calculated all these things, and at the end we understood based on an average the amount will be 58,577 every year on an average. Okay, so in that way you have to interpret each thing. So make sure you write it. Then for the final question, you have to write a proper explanation about the possible risks that could influence the retirement fund. Okay, that's it. That is all from my side, team. Make sure you write properly. Uh, Submit your Excel sheet and Word document. Thank you very much.